So, because my life is going through some crazy changes, I figured it'd be a great opportunity to talk about Chiron and what it means to you in your natal chart. It's a great idea to pull up your natal chart, see what house it lies in, and what sign it's in, and be sure to subscribe so you can get all my videos on Chiron and what it means in the signs. We're going to be talking about what it is, where does the wound come from, how this wound shows itself in your natal chart in your life, and how to heal from it. So, just to be clear, Chiron wasn't discovered until 1977, and it's kind of a recent addition to the astrological canons. So, Chiron isn't used in traditional astrology, but it's becoming more common and accepted in the modern day practice of it. Many astrologers today track Chiron's movements through the zodiac while writing like horoscopes or interpreting birth charts, just as they would do with any other planet. And when Chiron was first discovered, it was believed to be a distant asteroid, but later it was classified as a comet and minor planet, or also known as a dwarf planet or planetoid. Regardless of what you want to call it, this small celestial body is a symbol of both pain and healing in our birth charts. That's how astrologers would interpret this celestial body. So Chiron represents our core wounds and how we can overcome them. It's named after a Greek healer, philosopher, and teacher who ironically could not heal himself and is symbolized by a key. So it's the symbol demonstrates the importance of unlocking this minor planet's major lessons. It represents a wound. Even though this wound can be really painful, it can be transformed. So it's like a key and used for good. Chiron is probably that thing that you just can't ignore. And even though it's really painful, the wound pops up over and over again in your life. And this is why it's so important to just deal with it, as painful as that might be at first. This Chiron wound can come from a lot of different types of trauma, but the outcome is always similar in any specific sign. Specifically in Aries, which is what we're going to be talking about today, Aries Chiron is all about a core feeling of worthlessness. The reason that Aries can be so difficult to have as a Chiron flavor, or Aries being the Chiron's flavor, is, and by the way, I always use like this. So we have our planets like the sun, moon, earth, sun, moon, Venus, Mars. The zodiac sign that it falls under is its attitude. It's how it shows up. So I see it as kind of like flavors. Like we all have ice cream, but there's chocolate ice cream, and that makes you feel a certain way, and there's vanilla ice cream. So that's what I mean by that. So when it's in Aries, it can be so difficult because it's directly related to who you are as a person. It's Aries is the first house. It is you as a person. And when you have Chiron in Aries, it really affects your whole being, this wound. And if you think of a typical Aries, you'll notice that they're generally sure of themselves, very confident, bold, which sometimes can cause problems for them if these qualities become too extreme. So Chiron in Aries is the exact opposite of normal Aries. And those that have this placement will often feel that they lack some sort of core self, or that something is somehow wrong with them. They don't feel sure of themselves or appear confident at all. They may feel that they're unfocused, uncentered, and that they just generally don't belong. They may see everyone else in life moving along with a purpose, but feel that they themselves are not given one. But above all, people with Chiron and Aries may feel that they don't have the right to exist, or that they are somehow a mistake. It's a terrible feeling. It's like I said, Chiron is just about painful wounds. and it's going to come up over and over and over again until we can heal from them. So if you have Chiron in Aries, this might be kind of a general theme for you. The shame from this wound may make it very difficult to actually acknowledge it and begin to heal it, but this wound can also be extremely transformative for you. So, how does this wound show itself? There's two different ways that Chiron in Aries can show itself. These methods of showcasing the wound are exact opposites, though. They all stem from the same issue of not having a purpose or a sense of self that feels like it's worth something. Like in the first scenario, the person may seek to please others and be intensely influenced by others, and they sort of act like Libras in nature, and they'll go out of their way to extreme detriment of themselves to make other people happy and get even the smallest bit of praise. And those that have this aren't feeding on this praise like a Leo would be, but instead need it for them, like to keep themselves together and to assure themselves that they have some type of purpose on earth. They probably feel that if they can't at least make other people happy, then they have, or if they can make other people happy, then they have some kind of worth. This person will basically dedicate themselves to making others happy, but it will be at the expense of themselves. And they have another thing is that they have a really hard time standing up for themselves, even when they know they should. The fear of reopening the wound keeps them from taking a stand. Another thing is that they can self-sabotage. Like they might almost intentionally, even though it feels unintentional to them, sabotage a relationship, a career, or anything else. And they're basically proving to themselves that they don't have any worth, but this is because of the wound. This is just a false belief. So where does this wound come from? Those that were born with Chiron in Aries means that either in the past, like in a past life or a childhood, your individuality was stifled. During a series of interactions in the past, you were taught that your individual beliefs, needs, wants, etc. were bad and that it was wrong to have them. You basically learned that individuality is bad and that there's something wrong with your beliefs specifically. And you learned that you didn't have the right to be yourself unapologetically. So how would one heal Chiron in Aries? Well, none of us are meant to be doormats, but we're also not meant to attack others. Neither of these two interactions will make the Chiron in Aries person feel good for the long haul or fix the struggle going on inside of them. The difficulty with healing these wounds is that the Chiron in Aries person is very resilient and tends to avoid talking about their pain. They would rather keep forging forward, but what Chiron in Aries needs to realize is that sometimes backwards is forwards. The first step is you got to confront the fact that you don't feel a sense of self. And this person may feel that there's something wrong with him or her, or that something about themselves is useless or destructive. And this is really painful, but it has to be faced on to work through this wound. And they need to realize that a false belief is the problem. That they have this belief about themselves that isn't true, because there's they absolutely do deserve to be here and are here for a reason. And I hope that was helpful. Sorry, tongue-tied. I do hope that was helpful for you. And if you have a Chiron in Aries, how has it manifested in your life? How has it manifested based on your house, the aspects? Let us know what it's like to have a Chiron in Aries in the comments below. And thank you for listening.